A very warm welcome to my last MLB live stream of the 2023 season. Thank you so much for joining my live streams this season. This was a first experience for me doing live streams, and I feel like it has been great. So thanks so much. Now I've decided to do something special for today's last live stream. I'm going to talk about all the games for today, except one because I simply lacked time to analyze the Dodgers versus Rockies game before going live. So otherwise, I'm going to talk about every other game on the menu in Major League Baseball for today from a betting perspective, of course. All right, first, let me recap what happened yesterday. So I've provided two free picks to you. The first one was the Detroit Tigers with the -1.5 run line against the Royals. They were up 4-0 when they decided to complete the game today. And we also took the Angels. We took a shot at the Angels at pretty big odds against the Rangers, but unfortunately they were shut out 5-0. And finally, I added a premium pick at mjpicks.com, which was actually a player proposition bet on San Francisco Giants starter Sean Manaea to record over 3.5 strikeouts. And boy, did he crush the line. He picked up 8 punch-outs in the game. So that was an easy winner. All right, so now let's get started with the first game on the menu for today, which involves the Oakland A's playing in Minnesota. And after analyzing this game, now, of course, the Twins are big favorites. And I have a lean on this game. By the way, most of my picks will actually be leans, which means they are not official picks. So I would be tempted to go with the Twins, money line, -256 odds. Or the best line I saw on the run line was -121. So the best money line was with DraftKings, while the best run line was seen with BetRivers, Unibet, Sugar House, Barstool, etc. Now I find it really hard to bet on the A's because they are starting Luis Medina against Sonny Gray. So that's a huge mismatch in terms of the starting pitchers and also in terms of the rosters, the players that will be on the field. Medina in September has posted an ugly 6.62 ERA, and he has allowed 3 walks or more in 3 of his past 4 starts. So he seems to have some command issues lately. Well, in fact, this year, over the whole season, Luis Medina has given up 54 base on balls in 103 innings pitched. So that's really a very bad ratio. He has to fix this if he wants to stick to the big leagues. Now, meanwhile, the Twins are sending Sonny Gray. He has surrendered either 0 or 1 run in 5 of his past 6 starts, which is amazingly good. And in fact, he has no command issues, unlike Medina. He has not allowed a single walk in any of his past 2 starts. He has an amazing 2.80 season ERA, and you have to wonder if the Oakland A's have given up. Have they thrown the towel yet with the season coming to an end? After a pretty good stretch, they have now posted a 2-11 record lately since September 13. And meanwhile, the Twins are headed in the opposite direction. They seem to be peaking at the perfect time. They have presented a 9-3 record lately. So really, I would love to tell you that I have a big underdog pick, but I just cannot pick the Ace here. If I was forced to bet, I would go with the Twins. So as I said, let me show you again. So again, either on the money line, I know the odds are quite low, or with the run line. And again, this is an unofficial pick, or what I used to call a lean. Now, the second game involves the D-backs against the White Sox. All right, so of course, now the D-backs are more motivated to win this game. They will be sending a 25-year-old rookie to the mound, Bryce Jarvis. His 2.45 ERA looks great, but he has obtained 8 strikeouts and 8 walks, which is an ugly ratio. And that was in 18 innings pitched. So really the problem is only getting 8 punch-outs in 18 innings. That is quite bad, and that's not reassuring if you are planning to bet the D-backs. Now, for the White Sox, they will start Touki Toussaint, for which this has been a season to forget. His ERA this year has been 5.10. His whip stat, 1.45. Now, he has been in the big leagues for 6 years. And do you know what his best whip statistic has been during those 6 years? 1.30. And remember that the league average for the whip stat is 1.30. So at best, he had a season where he was close to the league average. Otherwise, he has always been worse than average. Now, the White Sox will try to avoid a 3-game sweep at home, so that could be a bit of motivation for them in front of their home crowd. But still, I agree that they have less incentive to win. So overall, after analyzing this matchup, I have a lean. Again, this is not an official pick. You know what? I would be tempted to go with the White Sox at plus 135 odds. This is purely based on the odds. I think they are quite enticing. I know Arizona is more motivated, but to me, the line is too high on the White Sox, especially with the D-backs sending an inexperienced pitcher on the mound who could get crushed today. So I would be tempted to take a shot on the White Sox right here. Now, the next game I want to discuss is the Cardinals against the Brewers. And those of you who have been following me this year will not be surprised with my pick. And by the way, this is my first official pick. Here's the Lucky Lobster bell coming out. This will be my first official pick for today, Thursday, September 28th. Now, if you've been following me, you know that I have backed Corbin Burnes very often this year, and today will not be any different. So let's not make you wait any longer. So I am officially taking the Milwaukee Brewers. So you could either grab the money line. The best I saw was minus 205 with DraftKings, or the run line plus 105, still with DraftKings. Let's see if the line has changed. I could share my screen with you. My screen. So the Brewers, let me make it bigger so that you can see better. The Brewers, well, the money line has changed. It's minus 218, but the run line is still minus 1.5 run at plus 105. So in these circumstances, it seems more tempting to go with the run line, I guess, although you probably know I'm not a big fan of run lines in Major League Baseball, but still I do it occasionally. All right, so the Brewers, they clinched the National League Central Division on Tuesday, and during their past 18 home games, they have presented an amazing 18-4 record. So they have been super strong there. I know that neither team has anything of consequence to play this game, but still I feel like Corbin Burnes wants to be ready for the postseason, so that's more motivating for him. And also, Milwaukee is playing at home in front of their home crowd. The Cardinals will start Dakota Hudson, whose whip statistic last year was 1.45 and this year 1.47. So it has not changed that much. And in both cases, that's very bad. So when you are close to 1.50, that's deemed to be pretty ugly. Now, Hudson, he did post a 4-1 record in August, despite still pitching not that well, but he got some good run support. But now his luck has turned in September, and during this month, he has presented a 5.93 ERA. So he is back to being a pretty ordinary pitcher, to be polite. And let's take a look at the 4 starts Dakota Hudson has made in Milwaukee during his career. He holds an 0-3 record, and he has allowed 17 earned runs in just a little bit over 15 innings. So if you do the math, his career ERA in Milwaukee is 9.98, and I believe he will get crushed again today. So as I said earlier, the Brewers will send Corbin Burnes, my man, to the mound. In 13 career starts against the St. Louis Cards, he has presented a great 2.97 ERA. So he has had some good success against his divisional foe during his career. Now on May 17, he lost 3-0 to the Cards, so we have the revenge factor that I value so much coming into play. All right, so again, let me show it to you. So this is my first official pick of the day. The Milwaukee Brewers, either straight up or with the run line, depending on your personal preference. Up next, are you ready for the Pittsburgh versus Philadelphia game? First, I want to say hello to a few people who are showing up to this live stream. Jeff Collins, Paul Richardson, Richard Renfro. Richard is asking, what are the boys going to do after baseball season? Well, my youngest son, Jay, he will be playing his second hockey season, while my oldest son, Maverick, will play, I'm not sure what it's called in English. In French, we say deck hockey, or hockey played on grass. So he's going to try this this winter. All right. Hello to DJ Jones as well. Thank you for showing up. So let's move on to the next game. Like I said, Pittsburgh against Philadelphia. All right, so the Pirates are obviously big underdogs in this game, and they will start Luis Ortiz, who is another guy that has a very bad strikeout to walk ratio. He has posted 55 strikeouts versus 46 walks in 81 innings pitched. Again, that's very, very few strikeouts, 55 in 81 innings. Now, he went to AAA for about a month and a half, and since being recalled from AAA, things have not gone any better for Ortiz, unfortunately. So it's really hard to trust this guy. All right, now, and for the Phillies, Zach Wheeler will start, and he has really owned the Pirates in his career. In 6 career starts against the Pirates, he has a perfect 4-0 record along with a 2.13 ERA. Now, I'm aware that he had 2 rough starts lately. He allowed 5 runs to the Mets in his last outing, and 3 starts ago, he surrendered 6 runs to the Braves. But to me, that could be a good thing when focusing on today's game, because even though the game is pretty meaningless for the Phillies, I'm sure Zach Wheeler wants to get back on track and be ready for the playoffs. So he will be looking to dominate the Pirates. So one more thing I noticed was that, well, of course, the Phillies, they rested many starters yesterday. They took a day off yesterday, but the Phillies still rallied from a 5-0 deficit to win the game 7-6. So even though the game is meaningless for Philadelphia, I feel like they still want to win this game. They are riding a 7-game winning streak, so it makes it really hard to go against them, especially with Luis Ortiz on the mound. So I have a lean on the Phillies. So again, if I was forced to bet, I would go with the Phillies. I did not actually place a bet because of the low odds that I don't like so much compared to how confident I feel about the team. So this is my play for today. All right. What's the next game I want to discuss? The Boston Red Sox against the Baltimore Orioles. Now, the Orioles are moderate favorites in this game. And the Orioles can actually clinch the American League East division with a win today. But the Red Sox obviously want to play spoilers against their divisional opponents. The Red Sox have been in a slump. They have won just 2 of their past 12 games. However, I do trust their starter for today, Chris Sale, which is the guy that I saw pitch when I went to Toronto about several days ago, maybe 15 days ago. I trust him a lot more than Baltimore starter Dean Kremer. Now, Kremer has allowed 12 runs, with 9 of them being earned, in 12 and 2/3 innings during his past 3 starts. So he has struggled a lot. And in fact, and if you focus on Kremer's career stats against Boston, this is not an opponent that he likes to face for sure, because he has presented a 1-4 record with a bad 7.52 career ERA against the Red Sox. Now, let's go back to Chris Sale. Since returning from the injured list, he has been quite unlucky. He has picked up just 1 win in 8 starts, despite a stellar 1.09 whip statistic. So again, let me remind you that 1.30 is the league average, and if your whip stat is close to 1, that's extremely good. And Sale's whip stat has been 1.09. So in the end, and this is not an official pick, this is a lean, I would tend to go with the Red Sox at positive odds. I know this may be surprising to some people, and I'm pretty sure that most of the betting public will side with the Orioles because of the motivation factor. Of course, they want to win this game more than the Red Sox, but I don't think that Boston has given up yet. They are facing a divisional opponent. They want to play spoilers. So I believe they will put a good effort in that game, and I would personally be tempted to back the Red Sox. All right. The next game I want to talk about is the Miami Marlins against the New York Mets. So they played a doubleheader yesterday, and Miami recovered from an 11-2 beatdown in the first game to get a 4-2 victory in the second game of the doubleheader. Again, Miami is in the thick of the playoff race. They are currently tied with the Chicago Cubs for the final playoff berth. So they are obviously more motivated. But that does not necessarily mean I'm going to pick them, as you saw with the previous pick, where I went with the Red Sox. However, if you take a look at the starting pitchers, you have Jesus Luzardo for Miami versus David Peterson. And to me, that's a huge advantage going to the Marlins. David Peterson's whip stat is 1.60. Again, remember that 1.50 is considered to be bad. Now, his stat is 1.60. That's awful. He does have some pretty high strikeout numbers, though, but he just keeps allowing runs and runs and runs. Now, in Luzardo's past 6 games, he has presented a 2.91 ERA, which is very solid. He has had many very solid games. I trust Luzardo a lot more. So even though they are on the road, we are getting some very reasonable odds. So I am taking the Miami Marlins in this game as an unofficial pick again. So far, I only have one official pick, one official wager, which was the Brewers. Now, here comes my second official pick, and it concerns the Yankees versus Blue Jays game. But you might be surprised because I'm not betting sides or totals. What I found is a good bet in the proposition bets market. Let me show you right away what my pick is. I'm taking Luke Weaver from the New York Yankees to record under 3.5 strikeouts. So in other words, I believe he will get either 0, 1, 2, or 3 strikeouts in the game against Toronto today. And this is an official pick that I shared at mjpicks.com and that I wanted to share with you. I really like it enough to bet. The best odds I saw were minus 118 with Bet Rivers, Unibet, Sugar House, Barstool, Leo Vegas. The next best odds I saw were minus 125 with Betway. And the next best odds were minus 135 with DraftKings and 10bet, if I remember correctly. All right, so in Weaver's last outing, he faced the Arizona Cardinals, and he did not allow a single run in the game, so it was a good outing for him. So as you all know, he's a pretty bad pitcher, but he still tossed 5 1/3 innings that were scoreless against Arizona, and yet he only picked up 3 strikeouts. Now today he is facing the Blue Jays, who have struck out the 7th fewest times in the entire Major League Baseball. So they don't strike out that often. And also, I like the fact that the Jays are probably mad from losing the first 2 games of the series against the Yankees at home, and both by a shutout. So they did not score a single run in the first 2 games of the series. I believe that's about to change against such a weak pitcher like Luke Weaver. They could really stick it to him, so he could be chased early. I believe it's worth a shot. Because like I said, even when Weaver pitched well, he did not even exceed the 3.5 strikeout threshold. So now that he has a chance of exiting earlier, I believe it's worth taking a shot. So this is an official pick for me, Luke Weaver under 3.5 strikeouts. By the way, towards the end of this live stream, I will recap all the picks for those of you who showed up later. Hello to Hugo Leblanc, who says, hi everyone. Hello to Matthew Hughes. Awesome to catch a live. Love your football picks. Thank you, my friend. AL Sports is taking Toronto minus 1.5. That could be a good idea. I already told you that how I feel like they could be pretty upset. They might stick it to Luke Weaver. All right, now the next game I want to discuss is the Chicago Cubs playing at the Atlanta Braves in a key game for the Cubs. Like I said earlier, they are tied for the last playoff spot with the Miami Marlins. However, the Cubs are coming off 2 devastating losses in Atlanta. First, they blew a 6-run lead before losing the game, and yesterday they were up 4-3 going into the 9th inning, but they ended up losing in extra innings. So of course the question is, so are they crushed mentally or will they bounce back? That's the X factor in this game. I don't have the answer to the question. I know they will be fighting. They are still in the playoff hunt, but maybe mentally they are devastated. Who knows? Now, of course, I looked at the starting pitchers. Marcus Stroman will start for the Cubs. Now, he could be limited to around 75 to 90 pitches after building up to 64 in his last outing on Saturday. Now, he's coming off the injured list, so they are easing him back into action. But since the Cubs are so desperate for a victory, maybe they will push it and let him pitch for a longer period of time if things are going well for him, of course. Here's a spectacular stat that I read about Marcus Stroman, who, by the way, I have backed very often this year. In 4 games in Atlanta, do you know what his career ERA is in Atlanta? 1.88. Wow, that's mind-boggling. He's had amazing success playing in Atlanta. Now for the Braves, they will send A.J. Smith-Shawver to the mound. He will make his first start since July 30 in the big leagues. So far in MLB, he has done an okay job. He has not been great. He has not been bad. And he has also done an okay job in AAA this year. He has posted a 4.17 ERA in AAA, which is not that great, to be honest with you. So after analyzing this game further, my pick, which actually is a lean, so I'm not betting this game, but if I was forced to do it, I would go with the Cubs with the positive odds. The best line I saw before going live was plus 128 in American format, which is the same as 2.28 if you are more familiar with decimal odds. All right, it's now time to switch to another very interesting game, the Texas Rangers playing at the Seattle Mariners, where in this game, the Mariners are established as small favorites. Wow, it's amazing how much Texas has owned the Mariners this year. The Rangers have an 8-1 record against their divisional opponents this year. So will the trend continue or not? Well, the Mariners are fading as they have picked up just one win over their past 6 contests, while meanwhile the Rangers have been piling up the victories. They have a 13-5 record since September 9, so they are on a roll. They have basically regained control of the American League West Division. They led the division for a good portion of the season. Then they went through a slump. Houston took advantage of it. But now they are back with a 2.5 game lead over Houston atop the division. Now, just like his team, Logan Gilbert has been struggling lately. He's a pretty solid pitcher, but he has not done well recently. In his past 4 games, he has squandered 13 runs in 23 innings. So again, if you do the calculations, that amounts to a 5.09 ERA, which is very disappointing for a pitcher of his quality. He has not been himself, and you might wonder, is he getting tired after such a long season? Well, based on those numbers, maybe he is tired. And meanwhile, Jordan Montgomery is headed in the opposite direction. He has allowed just 1 run in his past 21 innings pitched. That's astounding. And since joining the Texas Rangers, he has presented a 4-2 record along with a very solid 2.92 ERA. So, which team am I taking? Let me reveal the play in question. This is a lean, although I have to admit I'm quite tempted to make it an official pick. We'll see if I do that later. But you're giving me the opportunity to bet a hot team at positive odds. Well, I think I'm going to take it. So my preference in this game is the Texas Rangers at plus 100 odds. Even earlier, I saw the line go up to plus 106, but I believe it has gone down since then. Let's check DraftKings just for fun. Yeah, plus 100 with DraftKings right now. All right, so that does it for today. So let me recap all the picks. So like I said, I've presented many betting tips in baseball for today. This was my special for you for this final live MLB stream of the 2023 season. So I have 2 official picks. All of the others are unofficial picks or leans. Again, you are free to do what you want to do with the information. So first, there's no way I could back the ace with such a big pitching advantage going to the Twins. So I took the Twins either with the money line or the run line. Then my preference went to take a shot on the White Sox at home against Arizona. This may not be a popular pick. Or you could grab the run line plus 1.5 runs at minus 115 odds if it if you are worried about taking such a weak home team. But I believe they have a shot against an inexperienced 25-year-old rookie, Bryce Jarvis, that will start for the D-backs. Then my first official pick went to the Brewers. I like my man Corbin Burnes to get the job done against Dakota Hudson, that is quite bad and who has performed very, very poorly in his career in Milwaukee. Again, you could either elect to go with the money line or the run line. It's up to your personal preference. Then I had to go with the Phillies. I know the odds are not super exciting, but there's no way I'm going to back Luis Ortiz, who is quite simply bad, against Zach Wheeler, who wants to get back on track after being ordinary lately. I believe the Phillies could destroy the Pirates. Then I took the Boston Red Sox at positive odds. This, again, may not be a popular pick. Some people might call me crazy because Baltimore is much more motivated, but still I feel like the Red Sox will put a good effort. They want to play spoilers. They have Chris Sale on the mound against Dean Kremer, that has not done well lately and who has done even worse, historically speaking, against Boston. Then I like the Marlins to get the job done. They are ultra motivated for this game. They have a big pitching edge. I hate David Peterson, so give me the Marlins to win this game. Then this may be one of my favorite picks of the day, a prop bet on Luke Weaver from the Yankees to rack up under 3.5 strikeouts against the Jays, who are mad after getting shut out 2 times in a row against the New York Yankees. So I believe Toronto will explode and get Weaver out of the game early. So let's go with the under. Then I took another underdog, the Chicago Cubs in Atlanta. They have the motivation factor going in their favor. Marcus Stroman, to me, is much more reliable than AJ Smith-Shawver, so I decided to take a shot on the Cubs as an unofficial pick. And finally, another small underdog, the Texas Rangers. Things are not going well for the Seattle Mariners, and unfortunately for them, I believe the trend will continue while the Rangers will keep rolling today. Alright, so that would be it for my live stream of the year. I hope you really appreciated. Hello to Christopher Kemper. Says, keep the pro picks coming, Professor. Yes, I will do that for you, for sure. So a big thank you to all of you who showed up for this live stream or who are watching in replay. I really appreciate you. So click the thumbs up button just to let me know that you appreciated today's content. That's your way of saying thank you. It only takes a few seconds and it could help to promote my video to more people on YouTube. And even better yet, if you have not done it, subscribe to my sports betting channel where I provide lots of valuable sports betting picks for free to you. And as usual, if you want more picks, well, you can always go to mjpicks.com, which is the place to go if you want to access all of my picks across all sports. If I'm not mistaken, we have 6 winning weeks out of the past 7. Sunny Springs is asking for a recap. Maybe you just joined a few seconds ago because I just did a recap. So you could perhaps just watch the replay and look at the end of the live stream. Hello to Eric Beausoleil. Julien Messier is asking, the pick on MJ pick is pick you take 2? The pick on MJ pick is pick you take 2. Yes, I'm not sure if you mean bets that I'm actually making. Yes, the picks that I share at mjpicks.com are the wagers that I am personally placing. So I'm basically sharing with the world what I'm betting across all sports. Oh, Enrico says, regards from Vienna, Austria. Hello, my friend. Very long time ago, I won a spot in a poker tournament that took place in Vienna, Austria. So it's quite funny that you are from that part of the world. You live in a beautiful country, my friend. All right, hello from the DR. I suppose it means Dominican Republic. Ramon Benitez. Hola, my friend. Hola, amigo. I did go to the Dominican Republic a few times in my life, and I love your country as well. So this is it for me. Thank you so much. I'll be back tomorrow for another MLB pick, which might be my last baseball video of the season. We'll see if I do some videos for the postseason, or maybe I will start working on my NHL and NBA predictions or my analyses for the upcoming season. I'm not sure yet. All right, thanks everyone. This is Professor MJ, a 15-year university statistics professor from Canada. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.